Well, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you from the hot lead zone. And as you know, we reported that these Russian shotgun slugs are shooting exceptionally accurate. This is really good. But the slugs have to be mated with the special tail wads, and without the two of them being together, you don't get that performance. So some of you out there were thinking about going ahead and buying the mold from Amazon, but I was cautioning you that unless you get a source for the wads, the slug itself isn't a winner without the wads. Well, the good news is, thanks to some hard work by Dave, that's Thorzak777, and also James at the Reloaders Network. That's the Reloaders Network. Thanks to their work and doing the direct negotiations with the Russian dealers, and by the way, that wasn't easy from what I hear. But anyway, they got a shipment of these wads in, and if you're thinking about getting the Russian hydrant slug mold, you ought to go ahead and get the wads now. Give James a call over at the Reloaders Network. I got these and he shipped them out fast. They come in bags of 100, and they're like 12 cents a wad, but it's worth it for 2.5-inch hoops at 50 yards, reliable. They're worth it. So here's what happens. You take the slug and you put it together with the wad like this, give it a little push, and you actually feel it seat. And when you got that, then you go ahead and reload this. And let's go ahead and reload some of these now so you'll see how that goes. So here's what we're talking about. And as you know, Dave, that's Thorzak777, sent me a bunch of these slugs and wads all linked together. He sent me those to test because he knew that I'd been shooting Lee and Lyman slugs that are placed into trap wads for the last 30 plus years or so, and not getting any kind of real accuracy that we can really depend upon and be reliable with that distance. So anyway, he knew that, and so he sent me some of these Russian slugs to test, and the results are like astounding. 2.5-inch groups at 50 yards, reliable, through smooth and rifled shotgun barrels. So after you shoot these, it's like the smiles are from ear to ear. Anyway, but the problem is these slugs take a proprietary wad, and you can't get those wads domestically here. BPI actually has what they call their dangerous game slugs, DGS slugs, which are the Galandi versions of these, with a Galandi version of the wads, and they sell those, but they don't sell the wads separately. When you buy the mold from Russia, you don't get they don't feature the wads. So look at these. The slugs have a center post, so you can't put a screw through there. This post is mated to the slug, you see? The slug has a center that will go over that post. And then it has a perfectly shaped column to go into the base of the slug, and then little retention grooves here that will grip the slug. So when you put them together, this is what you get. Well, my recommendation to you would be that if you're interested in this slug and you're going to place an order with the Russian dealers through Amazon, that indeed you should go ahead and order some of these wads from the Reloaders Network. They're available right now. Now, interesting, when you take the wad and the slug and you go ahead and place it over the post and you give it a little push, you can actually feel it grab. That first little rib there grabs the wad, and it's on there pretty good, but you could pull that off if you pull real hard. But there you go. That's the combo. Now, these wads are very nicely molded, and it has a powder obturation section, which is deeper than most, but this is very stiff, strong plastic. When it fires, that post will actually go farther up, and that first step there actually is mated to the undersurface of the inside of the base, has a step that corresponds to that. So it looks to me like when it first goes off, the pressure forces this plastic all the way up to the base of the slug right there. And so that's not going to separate after the slug is fired. So for this project, we've discovered that the Fiocchi empty hulls works very well for loading these slugs. And of course we're using Fiocchi primers, so how appropriate is that? Now the powder charge is 34.5 grains of long shot. It's going to give us a little bit more than 1,400 feet per second, somewhere around 1,425. So it's going to be a pretty powerful load. But I had to adjust the wad pressure to increase the distance here so that it would seat the wad deeper onto the powder. Make sure we've got that wad right against the powder. So here's our long shot. Now we'll begin by resizing the case, and then there's the Fiocchi primer in the station for priming. That primes the case. Now we go over to the powder and we go 2 taps to fill the powder space inside the meter, and then dump the powder charge, as we see there. Then we lower the wad guide, take one of our slug wad combos, place it in the wad guide, and seat that in one motion, and feel it actually compress into the powder charge. Now we've got a certain distance there that we'll be able to go ahead and do our roll crimp as we've done there. So let's go ahead and get 15 of them ready to go to the roll crimping stage. Show you one more of those. We got a primed case. Now we checked the charge against our Dillon powder scale, like electronic powder scale, 34.5 grains of powder, and there you see the slug is seated in the case, ready for roll crimping. We'll repeat that 13 more times. Show you a close-up. There's the case that's powder charged. The wad guide's down. Now the slug combo is placed in the wad guide, and then the entire combo is seated, and you feel the wad go into the powder. Show you that powder charging again. There's a primed case, fits underneath the nozzle of the RCBS Uniflow perfectly, and then we raise the chamber, fill the powder chamber with 2 clicks, get a uniform throw, and the long shot powder is very consistent. These slugs seat so nicely, gotta show you one more. Just like that. And one more. Really child's play. Now, of course, for roll crimping, we want to take some Vaseline and apply it to the inside of the roll crimper. This is a BPI roll crimper. So we'll apply that right in there, just like that. Then take one of our cases, lock it into the BPI shell vise, and then we go ahead and crimp. Like that. We'll show you those after we've done them all. So there's our output. It's almost a full box of slug loads. using those Russian slugs. And there they are, so you can see the quality of the roll crimp and you can see the slugs. So here are our slugs ready to go to the range, and you'll notice that none of them make any noise at all, no rattling either in this direction or in this direction. So I'll show you all those. Even this one that I did with a Winchester hull, which actually came off very nice. So you can use Winchester hulls also. These are Winchester slug hulls. They work very well also. You see, no rattling in any direction. Take any of these, none of them rattle. I know Dave's shoot up a storm. Let's see if my own castings do the same. Bye for now.